hello. Good afternoon, all. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. This is Nafadima, and I don't come again to now with another edition of Social Media Review. Today, now April 10, 2022, and I get with me again today in the studio, Mr. Shilon, who is my co-host. Lawyer Shilon is a practicing attorney residing in North Carolina for over 40 years. Practice law in North Carolina, in America. So to the Muslims, I say again, I know say this is a fast month within number 60 day. And 6th day today, the 6th day of the fasting, we say Ramadan Karim. May God give us the blessings of the month. Let God give you all the blessings. The one day when a Christian, within the Lent seasons, Easter they soon come. Una no say una say una Lent season fasting. Let God give us the blessings of the month. We pray for the goodness of the Almighty Allah, the Almighty God, for day upon we. And guide we ask for wisdom for guide we in anything we do, because without the wisdom of the Almighty we are lost in life. So we come for can talk to una today, but first of all I say welcome. I tell una all thank you, because without una every Sunday una they can join we every Sunday, because una believe and trust in we una they come for can and be part of the conversation what we talk about. So I ask una for please share make other people then come, may they can join we, let we all can talk but waiting big na social media, waiting big inside we country, waiting people in the talk about, waiting make sense and waiting not make sense na where they happen na we country. So first of all, we go first to the world. As we know, the world is going around. Everything is happening. The war between Ukraine and Russia still going on. We see the corona they go down, but then they say don't begin come back. We see a press release where we government pull. We go up much small padande. Also, we also get another issue back where we see big on social media, the Justice Fisher issue between he and the secretary of the APC, All People's Congress, where he asked the secretary, gonna court he play audio of the voice of Adebayo, where Adebayo they cost he say Adebayo cost him mama so Yansaneh for apologize, he get for make Adebayo apologize to him for causing him mommy and apologize to the country. So the case of the issue where they go pan, they not do what they do the APC business for go try for sort out the constitution. Also again we go up much small for this Mrs. Lagatelo Pierce. Now the Auditor General where we see November with President them just pull them, they say they get case against them. But we they see every day they don't go the first time, they say just for go get familiar. This 10 now where they go one of them days here, they go tell them say the person where they make the evidence the clerk, they say they don't get printer. Now remember that the Salone say we not get printer for print the evidence they forgive to the lawyer them, so they don't postpone the case back for 2 weeks. We get for months per day. If we don't get case against this woman, 30 days we not able to present to evidence to the woman and lawyer them, and this the time they go, and this woman I force them for go court because they don't sit up on the case. The president said that they open a tribunal. If you don't get the evidence ready before you go, but we go talk about that with the company now. Also, we can't talk about this university business, this degree business, and we get an audio where the whistleblower been the talk of the fraud where they do in the country. Nobody know how work again for earn something legally. Everybody want make illegal stuff, quick money. We go talk on that debate. So now bring Mr. Shilon in, let it tell una plenty I do. And while una they do that, una they listen to Mr. Shilon instead will tell una what we expect on this platform. Then we go to the topic of the day. We go begin talk on what we talk about today in a salon. So let we go to you, Mr. Shilon, sir.
Hello, everyone. As Ms. Fadima said, Mr. Shilon, coming to you from North Carolina, and I'm a co-host on this show. It's always a pleasure to be back with you, with my co-host, and with you now with the listen and contribute by calling or sending in comments. Welcome back. I hope this, as usual, will be a very productive show. And you also when I also know say we always the post if you watch this show on on a computer, on your telephone, or by video, you also the post the various numbers them. Where when I can able reach we on WhatsApp, the toll free numbers from Australia. So we get all of that on the screen. So we suggest that when I take a look at that number, instead of me calling them, I don't think it's necessary. But so we welcome una participation again. And also, I wish everybody Ramadan Mubarak, meaning happy Ramadan, because this is the month of Ramadan. And some of we, also Mefuna, they fast, and because of different times in the region, just like I get a friend who is an ambassador, an African friend who's an ambassador for an African country in India, then they're 12 hours ahead of we in America. Yeah? So, so some people have not caught them fast. Some people have not caught them fast yet, like we did on this side of the wall. Friton already, I'm sure, they'll break them fast, and so on and so forth. So welcome to everybody. I hope the one that will caught fast, then get for go for Taraweeh prayer. So that also will interfere with them listening, because the time not go there. By the time you caught fast, by the time you pray, by the time you go for the Taraweeh prayer, when at the prayer where you get for pray for keep fast the next day, time is gone, and sometimes fasting tend to zap the energy of people. So some people and they have been so physically affected by the fasting itself, they're not able to stay awake enough for even participate in something like that. But we hope God bless everybody during this season because it's a month of blessings. So we'll get for share them with everyone. Kafrio, non-Muslim, it's good for mankind. This is a month for mankind, so we wish everybody the best. All right. Ms. Fadima indicate just now, he say this night the 6th day, but this is not the 9th day of fasting. Because we start on the yeah, but that's okay. We'll start April 2nd. So today I think is the 10th. So that said, I'm back to you, Ms. Fadima. You know.
I beg all me people don't forgive me. Now why watch me? Yeah, today the 10th day. I don't know what happened to think. Thank you so much for picking that up, Mr. Shilon. Thank you, sir. Um, we can quick, no what much quick for this press release way Nakovac pool. Nakovac pool say we na salon, where they go na salon. We're not going for pay again, where they go inside because you know say all the other side and at the wall, all man don't pull all them boku restriction but COVID. So we press release we come out then there's the NACOVAC say beginning the 14th of April. Anybody when they go inside Salone now, you're not going for pay for test pre test, but when you come out now though, you get for pay for the test. Now the thing that they so Mr. Shilo, I don't know if you they see them for say exactly waiting and waiting the test that they talk about for legal able for just like briefly summarize and try to tell the people then because then they say
What?
where you go inside because you don't take the COVID test because I don't know when they say we don't take COVID test before we left USA will come out. Or we Salon back we take all that COVID test, we pay all that money back $80 and charge me. They will come out, they left back again, they say we get for pay back again money. So yes, I don't know. I know they see too much. The thing is small. Yeah, it's all Mr. Shilo. If you can just
Yeah.
do a brief summary of
Yeah.
what
Well,
it is.
basically, they say they don't require the test for people can take until you know say before you left any country for Guna Salon, they may want for sure you get for take tests so you come out and then send them to them by electronically or via the internet. For sure, say you don't get that test there before you arrive in a Freetown. Then they're consistent with the rest of the world, or most countries them, or the advanced countries them. Then they'll abolish that because the advanced countries and they'll abolish that. You don't need for take that test there again. And Sierra Leone say, but when you want come, you don't need for take the test because also the other thing that Sierra Leone when you go, they may require you at the airport. You get for sure say you don't take that test there and go for check you out at the airport. Then say consistent to the rest of the world, they know go require all of that. But where you want come back, where you want left Sierra Leone, where you want come out of Sierra Leone, within 48 hours, you for take what they call the PCR test before you left. If you not take the PCR test, they not allow you for left the country. That not make any sense, but this is the way they get it. So we just think, say, the only purpose of that now for those raise money. And these are some of the things that we can criticize about government policy in Australia, because things for make sense, things for fall within the framework of reasonableness. You will not just can't be doing things which so obvious that now money no man at the sole purpose, because they will not see any public interest in asking people if we take tests before they left Sierra Leone. And that testing is about $50 US, what they require. So this is another form of taxation, unduly taxation when unnecessary, where the government are still left in place, will not make any sense. If anything, the opposite will have made sense. If you come into Australian, show proof say you're healthy. Then they also say when you're in Australian, you supposed for wear a mask. At the thick of the corona, of the COVID epidemic itself, at the thick of it, masking was only on paper. 99% of the population nobody put mask on. 99%. Now, where COVID restrictions have been lowered worldwide, then they still say they require people, in fact, they use the word strictly, required for persons vaccinated or not, you for wear a mask. So, but this is not the situation where we depend. We just the Falamakata, we know they rarely put with thoughts into policies that would set, would treat people. I mean, basically treating the country with contempt, as if not much money would deal with. They're all bunch of fools, because you wonder who are these people who come up with them policies here. I mean, are they really taking time, or they go on a beach, they have time Sunday night, then Monday morning, then say, oh yeah, then just come up with ideas, because this doesn't seem like any well thought out idea at all. But mask usage is still strictly enforced. According to them, it's never been strictly enforced. So I don't know how you go and enforce something strictly now. When the disease was prevalent, when the disease was thick, it was not strictly enforced. And we also know, say, masking in Australia was being applied selectively. You get policemen, they will be the harass people, they want to get money out of them. All of which were bad policies. And we always say bad policies are not being discouraged. You don't get public service announcements by the government in power for say, well, it has come to our attention that as soon as so they happen. So when drivers were being stopped and harassed, and because they know Okada drivers and riders them, and KK riders them too, that's masking of some of them passengers did not begin mask, you would think government will have stepped in and say, hey, I mean, you cannot require money from them fellows there, but it was all going on. So in essence, in summary, so they don't restrict, they don't relax most of the rules for the COVID, except that now they say you want to leave Salone, you for pay about $50. For what reason, we don't know, but you for take the test 48 hours before you left, before you leave the country. So back to you, Ms. Fadima.
Well, and to another Mr. Shilon, the press release they out there, on a go look for ourselves, on a go to the Salone travel website, go there. So we don't talk on the COVID because they say that they tax we, then what thing they do to all them money, because even the COVID worker, then the one day where they go around for go take the test, then because the one day where they do the work, the lily one day they know they get paid, they know they get money, but they don't get all them money. But now they take money now and again. But if they put into good use, it is well. But when they not they put into good use, that's where the citizens have problem. Okay, let me go now to another case where we're big on social media this week. We see this report where come out say Justice Fisher, where see dump the case of SLP, APC, then court where them carry themselves go to court. When I know say long term where APC then carry themselves go to court, then say they want for get constitution, they want for reform, they want all this stuff. So they go to court, they sue the NRM, they sue the other part of APC. They say they want reform, they want change, they go to court. This court done they take now they don't go, they say they don't go make the constitution. The constitution don't come, they don't present it to the judge, where the judge be don't order them, Justice Fisher. So now, they go to court, then there's the and Justice Fisher say, well, for this Sidon, what was Sidon so? I want to tell the and I call the man up, the Yansaneh up, when are the Secretary General of APC, Ambassador Yansaneh. Now he say, Mr. Yansaneh, he say one guy with in social media where all man they listen to when Adebayo. He say, una don't, it cost me mama, it don't cost me mama. So I need an apology. And you know the only person where not cost me mama it. So you get for go talk to Adebayo. I need an apology. I need an open apology, and I need also Adebayo for for apologize to the country, because Adebayo in your mode of operation na mami course, na so in the course, na so in the talk. Morally, yes, it is wrong, but it is shocking to everybody. And the question is, does this justice Adrian Fisher get the rights for bring what he brings so and use them for all somebody else ransom say you get for go apologize? If not, in the carry the case go, because they don't cost him mama and in Pekin we don't die, so in go carry the case go back, let them go let to Judge Edwards, let Judge Edwards go assign other person, and all that they bring delay because in not go able for Sidom if Adebayo, so then for go back Monday for go yeri waiting at the thing. So we see them Yansaneh full press conference. APC say this Adebayo guy no they get nothing for do with APC, nothing. Old party member, he's not part of APC, he's not speaking for APC, he writes in press release. So now the noise on social media, the question is, some people and they say, yes, he can do it, yes, Adebayo don't depend trouble, yes, this, that. But then you hear beaucoup people in back they talk say, no. This judge not get jurisdiction, he not get rights for do it, he do so. This is a different side of the law. This don't bring down the judicial system. This don't make we like a joke. This don't make we look like what are our judges thinking. Is this justice? Because the court of arms say unity, freedom, and justice for all. So, Mr. Shilon, sir, you're a lawyer, you say see this. How you be feeling? What do you take on this? How you see this? Because we want to play the voice of the reporter. Let the people, one of the reporter them, where been there on the thing, where he reports, I think an APC guy, you know, some people will say bias, but he reports what exactly happened at the courthouse. So, you know, I mean, I don't know how you see this, because me, I'm see this, I'm just lost for words. I'm just like, you know, I'm not a legal mind, I'm not a legal scholar, but I get common sense. And in interpreting law, there is common sense. Because outside common sense, now they supersede the law. Because if some law then they will not make sense, or something in a book will not make sense, when you the interpreter, you get for puts the sense inside the book for make it make sense, where you make judgment. So this to me own common sense what I get, it don't look like it makes sense to me. So I don't really understand. So Mr. Shilon as a lawyer, because before that, I remember again, there was a case in Freetown. They were doing the APC in time, and Justice Judge Siyewuri, lawyer Iskandri, Ali Iskandri, where they now America, yeah, he got a Freetown. He then a court. In the case of Ali Kaba, he married business where go married the accuser say he married two man, not divorced the wife, go married the one. And Ali you go to court, lawyer Iskandri go to court. He observes say we get so many people them inside we not necessary. This is just husband and wife, simple case where the states they waste resources. And you know, it is similar things how the judges do sometimes abuse their power. That's why they try for brinker. And what he then do, then puts the man Because the man go on social media say this is waste of resources. It was unnecessary for put all the people here inside this one case. All the country in circuit judges and all them courts this. All man can sit up for waste temper Ali Kaba a married case. When I want a simple case, wait for they go lock na Pademba Road, they intimidate and then they tell and say if you apologize. So they kind of for humiliate people when they sit down and then bench them for humiliate people. They say the man for apologize. And in lawyer advice and say, me man, if you want come here quick, just apologize and move on. But why are our judges using their benches to do that kind of thing and they talk with people? And these are the things that, where they give Salone bad name. And I want pass on to you, Mr. Shilon, sir. Let you give me your own thoughts on this because me not a lawyer, but I get common sense. Way not make sense. Anything will not make sense to me. I can question them. Why this happened? Why it happen? Is it right to you, sir?
All right, ma'am. Starting with the Iskandri situation, and I remember that very vividly. I even sent something in writing in defense of him. In detention was so unfair and unnecessary because the comment we make, even within the purview of just the right of a citizen, which he was and still is, he had a right to make a comment. The comment was appropriate because what I remember, Mr. Iskandri was in court. He was visiting. He's a California lawyer, Australian and California lawyer. He go to court. He did it. He say the government came with about 12 lawyers, according to him. Just in a simple case, even if it was a violation of the statute in Sierra Leone or the ordinance, whatever classification that violation they may have been, it did not rise to the level of a felony. We require the attention it was being given, other than the fact that Ali Kaba supposedly was an SLPP guy. I think, I don't know if he's still the foreign minister, but he was, so there was some political overtune to a so-called marriage to another woman while he was not divorced, okay? And the whole thing was kind of bizarre. So to me understanding, Iskandri sent out this text saying, what a waste of resources, where you don't need but one or two lawyers for the government for kind of court and represent the government, rather than coming there with that much manpower. Somehow, a certain minister, I understand this guy, popularly known as Logos, was the one who text that information there to Magistrate Abdul Siri Wuri. And then right away, he summoned the magistrate summoned Mr. Iskandri and all are in contempt. Well, it was so irrelevant. In contempt of what? He did not criticize the court. The court did not even know his presence was there at the time. And this now an out of court statement. I mean, the magistrate should have understood the basic rule of evidence. I mean, it's an out of court statement sent by this other guy to the magistrate, say this guy tweeted this. It was, but anyway, the long and short of it, Ali Iskandri was detained, and he reluctantly had to apologize for no wrong that he had committed. So, but this also put things in perspective. When I was in law school, I used to have a professor, Professor Sampson, who used to say, wherever there is discretion, there is abuse. That's the reason why, as lawyers have code of ethics, then stay within a framework of certain code of conduct. Magistrates and lawyers also should be subject, which I'm sure they have, because when the whites were there running the show, things were being held strictly, very, very strictly. Rules were being applied, and disbarment was in effect. So many things were, because if you want to hold the profession to a high standard, you won't away now the purveyors of promoting lawfulness should be the ones to comply with the rule of law. But when I think, say, because you're a magistrate, you're a judge, you're a prosecutor, when I go take undue advantage of the situation and abuse people, I mean, yeah, you may get the power to do that at the time, but it doesn't tell well for the country. So I am one who I am one who have been one of the most I have been one of the most ardent critic of the legal system in Australia because of the way we practice law. But not to show the weight man left and give way. We continue for dilute the respect of the profession, the effectiveness of the profession, the fairness of the profession, why it was being referred to as the noble profession. We continue for dilute all the good images of the law. And we think, say, because we get power, just like I would not dilute to politics, just like I would not dilute to education, thus I would not dilute to civil service. And we do all this for the worse, not for the better. So this is just a background with the Aliyu Skandri, a magistrate, Siri Wuri. It was totally uncalled for. That was way beyond the magistrate in REM, but to do it anyway and detain the man. So these are some of the things. So when we talk about excesses of politicians, we also have to think about excesses of judges and lawyers and other people with power, ministers. Not too recently, Mr. Kutubu was after a member of parliament in Pujeun somewhere who had assaulted, physically assaulted a lady in land where a lady where in land a dog will take by force, and felt it was overly challenging to her for the woman for stand up to her and tell and say, no, let me get his land. He physically grabbed the woman and they were scared to even charge him with any assault or battery offense. Well, or charge. So if we continue this, not to, we'll focus not for just be on the politicians anymore. Everybody is contributing to the decay or the demise of the system. But one complain because the politicians and they in front and they would see. But we, the professionals, also are killing the system because we not allow the system to work because it's convenient for we. So that was the Skandri thing. With respect to lawyer Judge Fisher, I expected, well, to be a judge, you should have control of your emotions and you should have control of your biases. Because at some of the hallmarks down there of being a judge, you're biased, but you try your best as a human being for be objective. We all get emotions, but you try your best not to inject your emotions into a matter where you dairy, or to allow certain information to come into evidence just because it may be biased or prejudicial to one party or another. Now, this APC case, this APC versus APC, whatever you call it, although now one, I forget the title of the case, but an APC person taking APC to court. This is a civil matter. Okay. Now, there are several things we may see wrong with this. I have always considered Judge Fisher to be one of the rising judges in the country who seems to have a very good background. When I was convinced that in the tough cases then for handle. But so I was surprised where I see I read say he asked Mr. Yansaneh for contact this individual for apologize. There are so many things wrong with that. First of all, there is no evidence. There actually no evidence that this gentleman who was being accused of being vulgar and then directly on video insulted the judge in family and the judge. There is no evidence that he had anything to do with the litigation in front of the judge. So, and even if he was, it depends on in relevance to the litigation. Because if he financed the litigation for one party or the other, which is say out of court, cannot be used in any way, shape, or form to influence the judge in decision or in temperament. So this gentleman is renowned for vulgarity. People say, I haven't, okay, Judge Fisher for no, and the legal profession for no. And it's time for we to begin to respect the Constitution. One of the fundamental things that within the Australian Constitution is the hallmark of freedom of speech. You see, with the talk about democracy, and a freedom of speech, of course, get limits. You're not free for just go in a public theater or a public place and holler fire. When I lie, they lie and cause people and for run and broke them foot and something, you'll be held liable. So there is limitation. But cursing, which is vulgarity, we can say that the hallmark of this gentleman in operation is a protected speech. Unfortunately, these are some of the difficulty of the democracy. These are some of the difficulty of having a constitutional government. So we within the legal profession will not only respect that, we for accept them and try for fine tune them. Because when you allow the government, and I always tell people because there was a misnomer, people and think the constitution are the same as passing what you call statutory laws or legislations by parliament. No, the constitution is a framework that should govern ordinances, administrative pronouncements, and laws passed by parliament. All for them within the framework of the constitution. Anything will go beyond that framework, the courts that should play a more active role for strike and down and say we want to go back and rewrite them, they within the framework. So this gentleman, way the diligent here, I am surprised that the judge even raised onto that level by giving him a recognition he doesn't need from somebody like the judge. You see, if you get the courage for listening to, I've never seen this guy's picture, I've never heard his video. And why would you want to listen to his video if you know saying video always offensive? I mean, people don't have to. You can ignore it. So now, for the judge for say, okay, I want to get out of this matter, a civil matter, I'm going back to the Chief Justice for reassign this case to someone else. And the reason being some out of court statement were not relevant. I don't care what reference to the case it was made. Now, an out of court statement. Now, a hearsay, the judge knows the rules of evidence, that hearsay evidence is not acceptable in court. The judge knows say there is a constitutionally protected speech. So why would that, and the judge also say, as a judge, if I get more control over emotions, I'm in sympathy with them. He love in parents, he love in prestige, he love in Peking, where you say die a year or two. I understand that, the human side of me. But there's also a professional aspect. That's why not to everybody in a judge. That's why not to everybody in a lawyer. Because it takes a certain type of person for be able for all then judge there and suppress you prejudices and still do what the profession called for you to do. So for say you to go back to the Chief Justice for appoint someone else, that is highly prejudicial to the case that has been so long gone. Then there was a reference about the judge had cited that the Constitution gave 3 months or 90 days from the last hearing to do some decision. Well, from that standpoint, I suggest this is one area in which we'll go back. I don't think how long it takes a judge for respond or give judgment on a case should be a constitutional requirement. It can be statutory. So we have too many things in the Constitution that have been mixed up with statutory laws. This in fact there should be administrative requirements because judges they get rules where they get for go by. I mean, judges can be required without the Constitution that when you listen to a case, after it's over, you get 60, 90, or 30 days for give a ruling. That not be a constitutional issue. Constitutional issues are basic, fundamental human rights, property right, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. These are what constitution should be dealing with, not to when judge forget decision. So everything is just mixed up in the country. And then instead of we for focus on anything, it's just getting worse, So I think, say, Justice Fisher, of course, upon reflection, and he's welcome to come on our show. He's welcome to disagree with me. He's welcome to say I'm wrong. But with all due respect to him, I think that's an overreaction. I don't think he get the authority for require. In fact, I'm not sure whether it was an order or was a request to Mr. Yansaneh. If it was a request, I think it was an inappropriate request. If it was an order, I think he just didn't have the jurisdiction. He not get the power for order and therefore apologize to anybody, and he not get the power for require Yansaneh for make a disclaimer. And I'm surprised. I mean, maybe for PR purposes, it was nice that APC made a disclaimer, and it may be true that this guy is an operative of the APC. All of that may be true. But this is not how you tackle a situation like that. There are many ways this gentleman can be dealt with. First of all, you ignore him, and just focus. Americans, they will say, keep your eyes on the prize, not get distracted. So you're a judge, you listen to a case. Americans have another saying. They say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. So if we rise above the sensitivity of what's being said that displease you, for react to the extent that you want to go back to the Chief Justice for reassign the case. A case that has already been almost to the end of completion. How can the case be reassigned? As a practical matter, without creating prejudice to one party or the other. So so that surprised me. So overall, the judge should rethink imposition. The lawyers representing the party, and last but not least, it's my understanding that the video was played in court. I'm sitting here wondering under what circumstance did the judge allow the video to be played in court, and under what circumstance did the lawyers allow the other party who introduced the video for be played in court, because it should have been strenuously objected to, because it violates every aspect of the rules of evidence. That video, they know material, is irrelevant, and is hearsay. So maybe we need to start teaching the lawyers then too trial, practice, and procedure. But again, we get a country where we're not interested in trying to educate. We in America, and I think in England now, we get what you call continuing education for lawyers, for doctors, for accountants, because we play such vital roles in society. So, and education not stop when we graduate, when we get that diploma there. It's a continuing process. Nobody not learn all the book. So that fundamental fact down there. So new things are coming up all the time. But Sierra Leone, where you don't get that paper there, you don't need to learn anything. So what happens? We are stuck. While other countries are moving forward, we there with a glow on stagnation, and we see the effect on with country, on with people. So I would plead with Justice Fisher, with the utmost respect, to reconsider imposition, although I'm not a lawyer for any of the parties them. But I don't think that's within his jurisdiction for asking anybody for get this gentleman. Nor do I think this gentleman is in contempt of court, period. I mean, this is not in free speech the exercise. Too bad he say disrespectful things to the judge. You can't be thin-skinned. This all goes with the territory sometimes. Thank you.
Yeah. So the question now be, sir, what does this mean? Because if you say it go to the Chief Justice Edwards, it go to Justice Edwards say, I want you to reassign me to this case. If Adebayo not apologize or whatever, I can take myself off this case. And then this party, who is the major opposition of the country, it is coming time for let them do them pick their whatever election is coming, and they're not even still gets their flag bearer yet. They're not going to convention. They're not getting. So will this kind of reaction, this kind of action taken by the judge, or position taken by the judge, it is just delaying the process of the election of 2023 coming, because people have to go to the polls, and this is now one of the major opposition. Then get one when they try for doing a wake up call when a coalition of all the political party against the one for engage against one the sitting government, but at the same time APC is a party by themselves where get a whole bunch of people when are members of things. So to me, if you go back to the Chief Justice and say, I want to take myself off this case, it's going to take time to go back again. It'll delay the process. And this is like, you know, with a stretch with power, with an abuse with office, with a just because we can do it and nobody is holding us accountable for it. That is the scary part of this judiciary the world gets in Salone, that people overuse their power, overstretch their power, go outside and not get business. Then you know, the people of Sierra Leone are always the ones that are going to suffer, because this is the livelihood of the people. And if the people are not get waiting that these judges supposed to do. Okay, when I say APC don't care, APC go court. They say they want constitution. They don't sit down. They don't agree to the amendment. They don't make constitution. They don't agree. They don't. So draw and waiting and call. Why will we not put this thing to rest? I mean, the judge to me just act like a little crybaby. Because, oh, they don't cost me, mama. Oh, they don't this. Yes, it's bad. Yes, it's morally wrong to insult people. Yes, morally it is wrong. But that is who Adebayo is. Not making excuses for him, but that's Adebayo. Now in mode of operation. Now in your way, now in your style. You cannot, I mean, I could disassociate myself from Adebayo, but I can't stop Adebayo from saying what Adebayo wants to say. Adebayo don't listen to anybody. He says he has said it, but people and they say, na Yansaneh and they control and na Yansaneh they work for. So nobody don't get proof of that. That's just hearsay, and people and they say. What is the truth in that? Nobody knows. But this guy has come out and say he will continue for course. So if Adebayo continue for course, when they go Monday again at court, which Adebayo don't course again today, you know. So when they go to court Monday back, the people of Sierra Leone therefore suffer for one person, one particular person, because the judge cannot take what they don't cost him, mama. It is gone. Yes, he get for filler. Nobody know why they cost him, mama. Everybody honor him, mama, to that way when nobody know one cost. But that's Adebayo in your way. And what are we going to do with Adebayo? You don't have nothing to do, because again, it expressing right freedom of speech. Now in your way, Dandy. You know, I am not from amicus and all thing, but that's his way. So the judge cannot do their work. Every day when they cost, then President Biafra don't come on our office say, I know they work again for the people because they don't cost me mommy. Because who that they don't cost him mommy reach President Bill and Fatima Bill pass all man again. You know? So come on now. I mean, let's grow up a little, play mature, waiting and call. In all these waiting and call they go on. So we're not gonna get time for play the audio again. I don't know if we get time. But let us bring out a very good thing in the midst of all this confusion and whatever. I just want to give kudos to my friend, my sister, my classmate, Justice Bintu Aladi, Justice Bintu Fatmata Aladi. In all good, you know, in every bad, good can come inside there, and good news. And we see sister got called to the bench, Justice Bintu Aladi, yeah. When I don't put her up there. Okay, Justice Bintu Aladi was called to the bench, and it make history. She's the first woman. She's the first black person. You know, and Basita Michael tweet them out and say, in the country where good news is hard to come by, especially with women, it's quite refreshing to wake up to the news that Honorable Justice Fatmata Liadi was due to the bench of Middle Temple Inn of England on Tuesday. The thing that means that the fifth been to Bonna, England, in people in Papa of late Justice Aladi. Papa was justice too. Papa was a lawyer. He go school na Freetown and he waiting and call. You know, say long time where with people then go land book, then they come back na Freetown, they can walk. So when Papa come back, been to go school na Freetown, St. Anne's Convent, he go back, go back again na England, he go study law. So for getting that honor day, because she's the first woman and she's the first black, and they say only 2% of lawyers, 2% of lawyers, less than 2% of lawyers, then they call them to that bench day where they call Bintu. So I want to say, we get good people in Sierra Leone, we get good women. She's right now a judge in Freetown, now judge na the courts of Freetown, they work for Salone, because they come back for can give back to him, whatever. But she just made that history, and we just want to recognize and say, we still get hope. Say there are good people in our justice system, that there are good people in our thing. So we are being optimistic, and we're proud to celebrate our sister and say kudos to her and give her a shout out. Kudos to Bintu Aladi for that promotion, nomination, and put them in doctor into the Middle Temple Inn of England and Wales. And you go Google it and see. I will try for see if I go able to bring Justice Aladi for let Ego can explain small bits. Sometimes we get for Yeri, the good things and the bad things, because good things they happen. Just like how we see they get the first healthcare convention na Freetown this week. I was so excited. But then I hear all this, all these promises, whether they give all this vision, we get a vision. We get this vision. But is it going to be practical? We get the vision. It's good to have the vision, but the problem is, are we going to be able to actualize it? Are we going to be able to make it come to real? Because then they talk of this healthcare, national healthcare, then they talk of state of the art, then they talk, it's good to have all that stuff. But to me, I am a practicalist, I'm a realist. The realist day and the optimist day. To me, how are we going to get that money for do all what you will say for do so? Because we are all donor funded, raised economy. With people in Sierra Leone, they make less than $2 a day, live off of $2 a day. For we forget, actualize, and come to all that thing, and they for come to real, for come to reality, for come to life. We get for empower the people, for bring back the middle class. We get for able the economy, get for be strong, for we for able for support. What do they support so? So it is good to have all this fine stuff. But if we put the cats before the horse, to me, that's how I see it. I mean, we can forget a strong economy for able to sustain all these things, them and all this vision and all this stuff, because it takes money. Almost them we go bigger, whether they give me grants and loan and this and that, we get trillions of loans, trillion million debts they will get for pay. How many millions of dollars of debts they will get where we not able pay done yet. And then people here we at the mercy one time when they say, okay, look all them poor country, they low sorry for the low make like they do good because we for take care of them, because if they're not stable, the world not go stable, and then one day go come into we, so then get forgive, they're forced to give us little bit of crumb. But how do we sustain we own? How do we make we own? How do we get for able for make we own? And if the people are not empowered economically, we cannot make it. We get for open the market. We get for open the stuff. We cannot just be monopoly. Only one set of people they get government contract. Only one set of people they get things that where they can import us. Only one set of people where we cannot open the market for let people then get earning power and let business flow and let business build the economy and let the middle class come back to power. How will we get this done? That is my question that I ask them. I put on the pages I see, and I'm asking how are we going to get it done, because I don't see it. It is vision. You can see the vision, but how will it be done? So these are the things, and we get people them where sit down where they don't know how to fix the things there, and we go quick to David Senge. David Senge is a young Sierra Leonean. When himself, he born Africa, he come America, he come study, he come back. So, when election become all them party they want him, but then Madabio get him, he win, he come for help for do them, put her as innovation minister, then now they don't put her as education minister. And he put out a tweet because he out there in New York trying to, and they get some kind of thing like United Nations and all that, and they write a book too. We kind of write them in the midst of all this. But I want to play this quick video where they say about bureaucracy, because these are the things that are holding us back. Bureaucracy, all these things that were in place, where they stop progress, where they obstruct progress. So, when I listen for myself, waiting, we young picking say, we young ministers say, waiting a bureaucracy, waiting say, thing, please.
We've been referencing the president of ECOSOC, and I think when Geraldine was saying it's like same old patterns or behaviors. To me, that's the definition of bureaucracy. And as a young person and tech person in government, I am mindful that we're in the room we are, in the conversation we're having. I hate bureaucracy. And by definition, it just is the opposite of innovation, because it requires you to do the same old set of things. And there's a reason why that's there, risk and compliance and following rules. So the question becomes, as we're thinking about the future, how do you bring together this point around innovation in public sector and bureaucracy?
So when we young mind the talk, and one of the things that when we all they talk about all the time, the same old thing, the same old, we going in merry-go-round. That's what bureaucracy mean, doing the same old thing, the same thing they in place. When on they work, when don't fail, and with that they're able to improve, they're able do more, they're able to grow. When they connect the public sector with the private sector, with the government, the people in governance, all these things that they put in place, all these things, we all know all this bureaucracy and all this crap where they put, when they make the people they're able for progress and bring new things and new ideas to the world and to we country what we don't left behind with the play picture. And I made a comment on his tweet. I said that's the $1 million question. I say, if only you could find a solution, how we go knock that barrier they down, then I will vote for you for president. That's what I tell her. I will vote for her for president if he able, because we have identified the problem. We have identified the problem of our stall. We don't stall, we grow, don't stall, it don't stop, we stagnated, we're not growing. And if you don't identify the problem, what is the solution? How do we fix those bureaucracy that they don't build, the corruption, all the kind of thing, the broken institutions, and they do business as usual. And sometimes when you have young minds like those go into those bureaucracy, sometimes if they're not strong enough, they get lost or they get corrupted. Then indoctrinates them into the corruption, what's it called? So only strong minds can come out of that, because you get young. Look at what they did to Tawa. Tawa is a politician, parliamentarian. We've been so voiced that SLPP. This young man is saying we cannot do business as usual. You don't go give me work for do that. One can tell me how for do. Let me do it. The way we're supposed to be done. And guess what they did? They shut him out. They shut him down. And the man come back again. He talk say, then tell and say, now where you sit on a front the parliament. Then put on a back seat so we go get the mic set for talk. They kind of silence you. You have young people trying to change. You have young people. We want change. It's not business as usual. If we want to grow, we're gonna have, and I keep saying it, the future is in the hands of our youth, our young generation. Now, una get for bring the change of Sierra Leone, because now una get for team up and demand change. Now, una get for team up and say, I know these people are under social contract. We keep saying this again. They're under social contract. If they're not delivering, we're supposed to get light. Why we not get light? We suppose to get water. Why we not get water? We suppose we're able to get job. Why are we not growing? Why is that we get for begin ask the questions? Why these bureaucracies we get for team up and challenge them? Until then, the change will not come that we want to see in Sierra Leone. Change will not come. We need a radical shift, a radical change, a radical leadership. When leadership that team up, everything they dress like dress, everything they fall in place. Leadership, everything to me, I believe in leadership, the visionary, the leadership for able, for put people, whether good or bad, a leader can be able to influence the people for carry on the mission where it gets 9A. Mr. Shilon, I bring it to you again, sir. Before we go to Lara Ayon case.
Well,
What do you say?
everything you say so far, Ms. Fadima, you're so correct. You just wonder. But for me, I can see clearly watching the whole way back. Watching the whole way back, now a few things. One, at the total lack, why I say we, meaning we will get the authority, the one that when are ministers, when are permanent secretaries, when are politicians, when they are the court system, when they in the medical field. Watching the whole way back, now for a lot of us, now we lack of understanding of what we role now the community at large is supposed to be. Because if you're not judge, you don't think, say, you role for dispense or administer justice, you think, say, your role now for promote injustice by being seen on the side. And some of we will get to even with social organization them. We are no one for attack on this show as yet, but we do know, say, there are a lot of social organizations them with a basic function right now for just promote corruption in many ways by encouraging judges and magistrates and justices of the peace for divert justice in the sense that they belong to a certain social organization. So justice, no matter they can go and take advantage of somebody, I expect, say, I will prevail at the end of the day because you belong to a social organization. So all that thing and they will need for begin for take stock of ourselves. We'll get for understand our role in society. We'll get for understand, say, this is a privilege to serve. And you for serve only if you get something to offer. But for the one that with the rush, with the calm, we not get nothing for offer, then just one kind of forget the power, forget the wealth we come with that, or the access to the to money. All this now some of the problem in the country. So that discipline they will not get. But we can see them. I mean, we know we can see what's in the problem. We'll not get the discipline for tackle the problem. It seems to me. And as long as we continue to do that, we no one take some of the courage we take with the complaint about the system all the time. It can only get worse. And we see what's going to happen. When them fellows here and they outside, me now one of the few people them all this the one that were they outside now where they holla, oh, the current government no good, they know this and that, which is true. They have not been as effective. They overly promise, they're not able to deliver. Because delivering takes planning, it takes commitment. So some of the plans were haphazard and the commitment just not did it. And sometimes for demonstrate commitment, we get for see it from the top. If you're not president, you get a minister with the bill 3-4 hosts at the same time, you for wonder, you for be concerned. First of all, several things wrong with that. Because that sudden change in lifestyle should concern you. It concerns the citizens then, and they point that out all the time. You for wonder, who's I pull that money they win lifestyle just becomes so uppity. Okay? And you for take the people to task. If you want to run an efficient government, when I tell you, so your police chief is engaged in criminality. The chief of police will be the number one enforcer of the law. And they show any interest, you pretend like for say you read that at all. There are certain rumors that should not go around about certain people. And when the rumors and they go around, you for call them that person there and say, this is what I'm hearing. I know it's a rumor. I hope not true. Make it address them. But we see then and they over and over, the police chief is being linked to a lot of bad things that were going on in the country. From property theft to crimes to now obtaining fake degrees or degrees from unaccredited universities. Nothing is being said. So how much do we expect this country for take? How much abuse? How much abuse do we expect this country for take that are not being addressed and expect the country for survive? Because we're not addressing issues that are pulling the country down, So these are all important things there. Now, and the people in power, they know what is wrong. They have the ability to change. Now, there's discipline or the courage now ain't lacking. And unless we get to that point there, well, we rarely know why we're there. And this is a rare opportunity to serve and make a difference. Unless we know that, unless we're conscious of that, and unless we sum up that courage there, we always will continue for the complaint. We'll always go to spin with wheels, meaning you wheel the turn, but you don't want place, because it is skates. So these are some of the problems. We get a lot of things we can do for help ourselves. There are countries around where they do a lot of things. There are countries around where they say, okay, we fail for achieve ABC. What we don't promise, but we're working on it. But yeah, even though we not achieve in the entirety of what we promised, but here is how far we've come. Accountability is important. Account to the people. People are not crazy. They're not stupid. Aligned with the suffering of the people. The basic, the average man in the street not going to understand in a country where the average income now about $50 a month, a whole month. Person get $500,000 loan. Where one bag rice, 100-pound bag rice will consume 70% or 80% of that 1 million loan there. How can we be so insensitive not for come up with economic policies or for uplift them people there? They're not asking for that much, okay? But everybody is too busy. Everybody is too busy trying for line up them pockets. Or for discourage so many things. Ministers are not for the billows why they're in power and why they serve in government. I mean, all these things should be stopped.
Yeah, going on that, sir. I don't know if we get that Ghana president, what in Ghana president they do now, because we don't talk on this platform so many times where they talk on this money business, because these people is just for them. And we, the people of Sierra Leone, we, the citizens of Sierra Leone, we don't know we rights. Because we don't know our rights, they take us for granted. Because we don't know our rights, they keep doing what they're doing. Government after government keep doing what the bloody hell they want to do. And then they keep abusing us. Poor, they continue for poor. Mama, granny poor. Pikin poor, grand pikin poor. Then the grand pikin they can born back, it meets poor back. Now that kind of life that we want for day, we don't deserve better in life. We don't. Economy is the life of we people. Economy is the life. This we governments them. They make big bureaucracy, big government, big spending, fiscal indiscipline. They don't get discipline how for manage. They're not savvy. They don't care because they don't care about us. They don't care. If you care about your people, you go worry. Look what in the Ghanaian president did. How many times have I not made this compare this thing here? So, but they are getting paid. The governments they get paid every month. The minister that they get paid. The president they get paid. The parliamentarian that they pay. The department head that they get paid. The people that are doing the work are not getting paid. 5-6 months, they're breaking up families because Usai money no they boku plaba day. Usai money no they peace day. Usai family angry, man and woman they go cheat, woman they go cheat. Family they break up. We country they become a dumpster. That's what it's doing because we have leaders that don't care about the people. Listen to what Ghana president did. Listen to what in Ghana president, when I go look up, I go make them play the video. But let's see what Ghana president did. But these people are getting paid. These people don't want to sacrifice for you. Now, Una give them the contract. Now, we the people give them the contract, but they don't care about us. They do not care about us. They just a fool we, they just a use we, they just a buffoon we, then they come, we'll make for them, we kill ourselves on social media. I'm watching right now here. People are fighting themselves. They're going at it on the thread on social media here, back and forth. This is not about politics. To me, this is about when I sit here every day. This is about the livelihood of the people of Sierra Leone. We all get people in there. We all get extended family in there. We all get mama in there. We all get brother, sister, neighbor in there. What we schoolmates them in there. Where they go school with. Where they try every day. You go there, you see some of the stress they add up. Where they go, they don't make it all. They don't all before them 10. They are all before them. The sickness, the diseases, how you read and they talk about all this funny, all this stuff when they talk about. It is good to talk about it. But how are we going to attain it? That's the question. How will they attain it? Not to just score points, political point, election time is coming. We start lying to the people and telling the people all kind of bull crap. You know, it is so freaking sad, man. It is so sad. I'm sorry, I'm just losing my mind right now. But it is frustrating. We need to stop. We need to stop. We need to start asking questions. We need to start holding these people. Because this is our livelihood. This is our future. Young people, you have to now una the future. Una get for demand the better. We now all with also now go they go. If now how they go now, what do we do so? But una go continue with this kind of country. Una go continue. People are leaving their country. People, families are breaking up. When we be small, everybody, they cousin, they mama, they cousin, they people, and they can't all they don't have one bed with they play and laugh with the talk. Now we the born with picking and then they Jerusalem, then they Jericho, then they Australia, then they America. Nobody knows that we pass our phone on the talk. Una not get time because we all working to attain wealth and recognition and all. We keep attaining. And we don't have no love. The love is dead. The connection is not there no more. That's why we wonder how people and they like how they so because there's no more bond. The village is no more there. People are we just chase. Nobody cares about nobody. The people they own they put no care on about now. We self no care about we self. We self, because we love we self, we demand better, we demand say no, this is not so it be. When them people here they come, una watch them before una vote for them. Una ask question before una vote for them. Not just go vote. Tell them don't reach now. Follow we go into registration. We went in at them parts at the wall now. If we want to go register, we go for paper, come money for go. So some of we then they take away from the election process because we don't have a voice. Then pull we say we in a diaspora will not get voice. Why they not for make her all year round? We get registration period. Why we not for the all year round? Would I move? You go tell them say I don't move on. I mean you address this. That's what we do here. Year round there is registration. Why we not for do that day? Why won't we go December or why won't we go April or why won't we go? We not for able for go register. Plus we go for buy more tickets for camp. The election take back. We buy tickets back for go. So you see how we not be part of the process. They don't care about us. They don't care about we. Una they feel say they care, but when they come to do the fundraising, they come to us. Una come, una all dance. Una wear green, una wear red. We dance for the give our money. When they go, they forget about we. They forget about the livelihood, they forget about the community, they forget about improving, they're forgetting about building the economy. Then they spend like how they want, put the money then in their pocket for themselves. So how they go able to forget their retirement check, the way they eat small, till the next day they come back in the power. This is tiresome, man. It is so tiresome. We have to really have to, kind of waiting because we really get ourselves together. We really get ourselves together. We really. If we not make so, we will continue the bureaucracy, go to deal with we good one. Then they block we from getting anything when our divine rights and our God give it our rights they forget. Mr. Shilon, to you again, sir. Before I go to Lara, I don't know if you want to add anything to this.
No, just very briefly. It was nice that you mentioned healthcare convention. There's a saying, they say talk is cheap. this, this is not the time for even begin for talk about healthcare convention or plans for good healthcare. That is way, way overdue. So it's about time we begin for show people what we can do, not for promise people what we can do. And this is not this government's fault. It go way back from even right after independence. Like I can always say, when we take over from the white people, them, we not try for improve or for maintain which in the left give we. And I always don't tell people and say, even the white people and be even offer. They be even offer, say after independence, then can they would we for another 6 or 8 years for go understudy the system. Since a lot of we not be feeling, because remember when we grow up, we get white district commissioners, them we be get a lot of, I will even get at one point now some government secondary schools you get white people in it. So these positions were being slowly relinquished for we blacks, then for come take the position and understudy. But what you will end up doing as soon as we come, then we get them position in there. We ignore all the basics. We just look at the power where the office give you and go the other direction. The effect of which we see now. So educational system when the left give we, instead of we improve them, we destroy them, and now we try for fix them, but we don't know how. Civil service structure wouldn't give we. We instead of we improve them, we destroy them, and we continue for destroy them. Now the situation in Australia is so confusing. When you get a president, the distinguishing himself from the city government as if the city not a part of a country, it just makes you wonder what is happening, and then for come up with all minister of Western Province, minister of local government, these are all when you talk about bureaucracy, that's what bureaucracy is. You don't need a ministry of Western area, you don't need a ministry of local government. These are just layers upon layers upon layers of bureaucracy. We're not efficient at all, like how Dr. Sengabi say. It's just a matter of just creating positions that are not useful, that are not efficient, that are not productive. And this is what we continue to do. We have not been able to rise above seeing the mayor of Freetown as part of the overall operation. We've not been able to see the mayor of Freetown as someone in EU rights was elected and voted by a certain group of people. We always defend way for undermine the efficient running of the city, in which case at the end of it all, we're all paying the price. Instead of the city being modernized, Freetown we're still into the 19th century Freetown, and we're in actuality we're in the 21st century. So there's a lot of catching up we have to do. So it makes you wonder, do people really care? Do we care in the conditions where we meet things and the conditions where we left them? How many people go raise their hand where they work for with government? In any ministry, we go raise their hand. We say when they come and when they left, the place look more improved. Any ministry where they meet, when they left them, it was more improved than it was when they come. You're not going to find any ministry like that. You're not going to find one person who say, oh, when they left now, the situation is better than it was when I came in. No, everybody worsens the situation as they meet them. That's just the way things are being run. And we don't make an unacceptable practice. Mediocrity is the standard. Efficiency is our enemy. Commitment is our enemy. So how long is that going to continue before the system crashes? This is what we should be concerned about. The system cannot continue to hold this way will they run or treat the country. It cannot. And then when we want to make investment, we're talking about spending billions of dollars on one single bridge in an economy that doesn't have $2 billion GNP. I mean, which is the GNP is 50% of for one bridge is 50% of GNP. I mean, it looks like we've lost our minds when we get so much more we can do. So the health convention or healthcare convention, talk is cheap. But what are the plans? I like to see what are the big plans and how long that's going to take, So that's all I have to say, Ms. Fadima, on this.
So
In
that
this
means
respect.
that for puts them back inside because they don't tell you they can't. But anyway, let me go to La Telopias because let me go to La Telopias issue coming to all this bureaucracy and all this stuff where they make. We know say the Auditor General Office now an independent body that was formed where they come say, we for watch how they spend more money. Then put a group of accountants then together, and Lagatera peers belong to one of the finest in the world when they come to the auditing and all that stuff. And we see where big organization they don't even talk of in good name and in what way they do. And she has been doing this from President Adebayo, President Anesco in term to now President Bio in time. But in November, we see President Bio remove and suspend Lagatero Pierce and any assistant, say they don't do something. All man they say waiting at the suspension, waiting at the something. Deputy Tambamomo waiting at the something where they do waiting at the thing and then alleged of professional misconduct. Okay, it's been November, December, January, February, March, April, May. April now they pass, so 5 months. 5 months can because normally they say you therefore don't get the case before you suspend the person. But in this case, it seemed like they suspended the person before they suspended the person before they suspended Lagatelo Pierce before they accuse him of what he do. So now the question is Lagatero Pierce get for forced into court 3 months into in case. They say, okay, they have not assigned my case to anybody. I gotta go to court. So Lagatero Pierce go to court and Lagatero Pierce carry them to court and force them. So they sit down for the case. The first time they don't go, they say, oh, they just go for familiarize with themselves with the case and all that stuff. So they just come on a court again. Then they say April 9th. They just come on a court back again. They say they don't adjourn the case again till the 21st. So the question is, what will happen? And one of the reasons where they say they not get typewriter for type the thing them for pass the case, the evidence to the accused, which is Lagatelo Pierce and people them, they're not able for get the printout, for get the things there together, so they get for adjourn the case again. And this is somebody's credibility here at stake. This is somebody's livelihood at stake. They say they don't put in place, appoint a sub or a temporary auditor general, where at the height of when they must say the 1.2021 report, that is when the suspension came. So it looked like, say, this president did not, and they were trying to stop this woman. That's how it looked like. Because for 5 months now, taking in this case where they say, they're not able to prepare the incompetence of the lawyers, I don't know, or they now that they try to put the case together, I don't know. What is the reason why today from when they say professional misconduct, when we hear on TV, they talk on this issue, say, oh yes, they get evidence. Today they're not able to prepare the evidence or present it to the defendants. Them for let the lawyer able to get the evidence for let them prepare their own case. Now they say they want 1 more month. The government lawyer say they want 1 more month, and these people are getting paid now. Now the money that they take pay them. These are our money. They pay them with our money. We Sierra Leonean with money. Now they pay them people are within a power. Then they get paid. But then they do their work. The one way they do the work, when they not now they small office them, they are not getting paid. The one way they go every day, they go work, when they scramble and scratch, they are not getting paid. But these people are getting paid. The incompetence and laziness and nonchalantness, no urgency of nothing. That's the problem. That's the frustration of we country. How can we say we don't get case against somebody? Then now the lawyer them of the state, they say they want 1 more month. Now they say, okay, well, we'll go now 2 more weeks. Why should they not be ready? Why should we not have a typewriter? What kind of flimsy excuse is that? That we don't have a typewriter for make so we don't get not a typewriter printer. Me the typewriter long-term business. Because sometimes they get addicted, I don't know. Because maybe even for fine if they get typewriter. You know, they don't have printers for print the thing them for how for get access for. What kind of nonsense is this? What kind of thing is this? This is unacceptable. It's very unacceptable. You know, because people are not taking the work of the business, the urgency of the state in business serious. Because if they take the bed, everybody they drag in feet, everybody get nonchalant. Mr. Shilo, you're a lawyer. You don't want to read these things, sir. Because me don't want to
No,
hear it all. Now that they
no,
put
no.
out, una they see and for una self, una they read and they waiting they write, but what happen a court, where they narrate what happen. Me I tell yourself, they say they not get printer. They don't have a printer. They don't have a printer to print. Oh,
Well,
I tell yourself, I tell
this,
you.
this tells you when we use the word inefficiency. It's a classic example of inefficiency because how can a government not have a printer, particularly a judicial system? Printers are there by dime a dozen, meaning you can get printer for as low as $19. You would trouble government now. With trouble government, would it for be part of them operation of efficiency, but they not make that a priority. If the government they set up a tribunal for a high-profile tribunal like this one for conduct a hearing on some high-profile respondents, them, it will seem to me, forget about the procedural aspect of it, just administrative part of it. It will seem to me they should have all the ducks in the row, in the sense that one, they for not get established rule or for not draft rule. That's why they have the law officers department to have come up with rules of administration of proceedings, how for conduct this tribunal, because maybe they have never been an example of it being set before. The other thing where I don't understand about this tribunal is the fact that all this come about as a result of the Auditor General accusing or having found the government to be guilty of misappropriation. All of a sudden, there comes this use of power with respect to accountability. And not to even mention the fact that when you say someone is being suspended from office because of abuse of office, you cannot just make such broad statements. You have to have facts to back up or substantiate what you say. What you will see now is the government just throwing words, no facts. You accuse, it's just like if one turns it around and you accuse the government, say, "Una inefficient. So therefore, una for stop for work." Will that be fair? If una inefficient, shouldn't we be able to tell una the factual basis for the accusation? So if you say unprofessional conduct, what does that mean? It has no meaning. You know, I when I get for really come up with some facts to back up and unprofessional conduct also forbid something where they affect the professional judgment or where affect the professional judgment of the person who are accused. But going on for mix up immoral conduct from professional conduct. Okay, professional conduct forbid something where directly impact the person in judgment, in professional judgment, and the outcome of his work. But we haven't seen any evidence of this. I would have thought the retired judges who are on this tribunal by now should have been outraged and upset that it was a waste of their time because nothing seemed to be in place, you know, and the way me see the way they conduct something, I don't know if the evidence is in there. No amount of postponement is going to bring about that evidence there, because if it doesn't exist, it just doesn't exist. So my problem is this also goes back and reflects badly on the system, because when you talk about some able, capable, reliable people, Mr. Pierce and Tamba Momo, who by all indications were doing excellent work for the country, and we're trying to dispose of people like that, and they for replace them, in all fairness, with less competent, if not incompetent people. And then we say, would it help the country? We are ruining the country, because you don't dispose of competent or of competency and replace them with incompetence. I do not understand what sense it makes. And this is why I always say sometimes the government or those in power don't grasp the significance of the responsibility we then get for run the country, because everybody wants good people on the team. But some, so in Australia, we see when the Fed for dispose of, and we've done this a lot, and it affects we now. We try to dispose of competent people for one reason or another, and replace them with extremely incompetent people, knowing full well that the effect go be on the country, not to the people, you know. So I mean, there's a lot that can be said with the way the system is run, and sometimes I'll be lying to you if I say myself not give me a moment of frustration. But despite that, I always think say we will continue hoping that the best is yet to come. But it is really, really frustrating, you know, when situation like this, they keep repeating themselves over and over and over. We try for make sure say we'll go forward, but always we gear stuck in reverse. Sometimes in neutral, where it never goes on drive. You know, the gear is always on neutral or reverse. So that said, I can we take at least a call, Ms.
Yes,
Fatima?
sir. Yes, sir. That's what one say. Let me take a call because this is every day. It's everyday talk. You know they don't.
Yeah.
But we're not going to. We'll continue for talk. Caller. Good evening. Name and who's they call me from, please.
Good evening,
Hello.
Madam
Thank you for
Fadima.
calling. Yes,
Good
sir.
evening, Lawyer Ceylon. This is Abdullah, the call from New Jersey.
Yes, Mr. Abdullah. Good evening, my brother. How are you, sir? And what do you get for add to the
Fine,
conversation?
thank you. Thank you very much. This is a very, very disturbing moment we face as a nation, as Sierra Leone. This is a very trying time. I hope say that because God done the test we, according to how the religious people in Kimputan, the way in Kimputan. I hope say this will be the final test for we as a nation. But we country they on a crossroad. This is a very difficult moment we had for imagine for a country where you love so much, even though you don't let they come in other path. When they talk about the incompetence of people that would work in government. But I tell you one thing, a team is as good as its leader. Remember within Alexander the Great said, a team of sheep headed by a lion is way better than a team of lions headed by a sheep. I mean, the leadership now we country today, they've gotten into the drains because of the various leadership now the various sectors. And the worst of it now the executive aspect of government, when now the presidency. We don't see incompetence now the judicial system. With this now one system now the country where if that country they for be something where people never talk about, we campaign better a good name than they for be one of the areas, the institutions. We don't see incompetence they unfold. Countless times we see this now the Paolo Conte case where the judicial mess up a commodity. We don't see another this Lara Telopia's situation one of the most respectable people then we may think of in the world, not to just Sierra Leone. Yes, because when somebody acts, now one government, it perform very well. It has to determine how good that person they be until you get the opportunity for act now two different or multiple governments then and demonstrate in level of competence and credibility. Now you say you will assess them. I think Sierra Leoneans will get the opportunity for assess somebody like the Auditor General lady, and I'm very much proud of the fact that a woman, when a Salone, we generally get that old way of thinking that a man is incapable. This is a woman we don't work in cannot foresee amongst the man and Sierra Leone. They go through something like this. We don't see failure, incompetence in the executive section and the judicial system. So this is very disturbing, and I'm happy that this be exposed to the world, and I wish Sierra Leoneans them within a Salone and we there abroad get the understanding for understand who shall we date today compared to who shall we don't come out. And the question I want to ask, considering all of these failures in the judiciary system in Sierra Leone, I'm happy we get competent lawyer. Now this program, lawyer Shilon, we get high respect for. I don't see the way they presenting cases then at this program ever since I follow Voice of Salone. God bless somebody like me for we. I don't know because I joined the program late. I don't go on this. But the other discouraging information we are getting about the decision of lawyer Fisher, Judge Fisher. Please, if you get time, I want to let you weigh in. I don't know if you will see me here.
Yeah, let's just give him time to keep going, please. Let him finish.
Correct. I just consider I'm still like a rumor because it's very, very unimaginable. So do you before this program ends, if you get the time, I want to let you weigh in. If you don't agree, if you know area, we'll go update you about waiting this lawyer Fisher just passed in the case of the APC internal matters. Thank you very much. I will call back.
Thank you, Abdullah. One of our loyal listeners, we say thank you because always voice of Salone, una voice, na matter. If we not there, we not there. So this is a platform for we all for come together and sound off. Because then they listen we all, then they hear we. Go ahead, caller. Next caller, please. Go ahead. What's your name and who they call from?
Good evening again from my side here.
Yeah.
You know, sir. This time, I would say, we country, I mean, the governance, you don't come to mediocrity. I'm saying this not to say I talk low upon the guy Adebayo, but because as he say, how educated people and the people we get high, IQ today have been, terrorized by one guy who just the own way in a little corner where you don't know nothing. He doesn't know about economic policies. He doesn't know even the issues the way they talk about. Most of the time, he cannot even elaborate on these issues. And today, I cannot believe that a judge, will get down so low. For can put this guy into, to make him so important. Don't make him so important to the point that a whole political party might not even function in the coming for 3 years because maybe if they take this judge again, they will take another 6 months or 1 year. So this is how we have been reduced. So we could just see him say. Maybe the degree them over and they talk about maybe not the one the way they say now all among people we don't actually go school, but then get the qualification. That's what I'm thinking because I cannot understand how they do this. Sometimes I thought it was a joke that these things are happening, but it's true. So sometimes discouraging. Say we country because how you go I would tell even other people in other countries say, oh, we get one man who cause people in the media and social media because of that the judge say not doing work. Good. It's anyway. This is how it is. I just they say we get to do more for make we show see we get people away educated in the country, people away no policies. Because the guy when you talk about even though they talk for the, I mean, you say they talk for people and they youth them, but he doesn't have a clue about issues. Apart from say he has say when they can't tell him news, from security or that thing. But when it comes to governance or other issues about governance or policies, he doesn't know them. And now this guy, now they can't determine how the country is being ruled. The president they listen, the vice president they listen, the judge they listen. Well, this one, I don't know. Something is wrong with the way we are. And the commodity come to the general issue. This man, say he don't form because he don't talk say he can't fight corruption. And corruption don't be so rife in administration that the only way we do now for stop this woman. So they do for all kind of way for let it go to my side. So make people not think say something good is going to come out of it. It's not a shame. Everybody curious for year this charge. Then today they don't go, they say they go for 6 weeks. Now they don't come again, they say they go for 2 weeks. So we don't know if the next time when they come again they go you don't want this case or will do something else. But now for just tell everybody say the man was not serious about fighting corruption and he won't stop the policy where the light corruption will happen at administration. That's just it. Anyway, we'll call back later. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, my brother. Next caller, please. Good evening. Name and who side they call me from? Hello. Good evening. Waiting at your name and who side they call from, please, caller.
Yeah, Mina Abdullah, they call from Maryland.
Yes, Mr. Abdul from Maryland. Go ahead, my brother. What do you have to add to the topic?
Yes, I get two issues around just
Yes,
one
sir.
the health program and the other one is saying the issue. I not say the government will come in with the big promises to undertake ambitious projects, and I think it's in the same scenario Madam Bio so they promise ambitious projects, but at the end of the day, the one thing that they fail for doing is to tell the people the projects here. We're not able to raise the money to take them ambitious projects here. Them projects here, they try to do no support or loan from the Bretton Woods institutions, the IMF, the World Bank, the Paris Club, or the European Union, the Irish, all the other one, and it tied to. Now we go solicit from them or the Arab Development Bank and the Islamic Development Bank. With them projects when they're trying to then donor agencies and we know how donor agencies how then they operate. You don't solicit support from them for a project, but it take quite a long time before actually the project itself starts. Now I'll give you an example. For the University of Cologne, the project starts from an escominting. Then up till now, government, the ECOWAS bank, not able to disburse funds for let the project start. Our government get for started last year or so the early this year, where they say the government will put their own 2% or 3% where they're supposed to, and government don't start. So it takes a long time. So the problem with government will come before then they make them projects known to the public because we have a gullible public. When for make something, that is the secret. Everything on the money don't start for the project. It's gonna go start. Now the same problem be with the renovations of the 4 government secondary schools, Prince of Wales, Bo School, Maboka Boys, and Kenema Secondary School. We don't say that the Islamic Development Bank, the government is solicit fund for rehabilitating those schools. During COVID, they come and go to the inspection and all that. Let the money come for let them start project. That is the big thing. That's the problem that government is facing. Going to people and put them in the dark until the money starts. for let the project start before ever they start up. So they need to come out because when you talk something, even the mother being the diagnostic health center where you say the hospital where you go start. Now it's tied to donor again. Now that is the tied to. Explain to people, let people understand. Say now this time are the issue because the people them they too high and I'm speaking. When you promise speaking, say I'll do something for you tomorrow. The picking they look to that. The thing of the time coming in India. You go take you say Papa now they talk to. Then the other people are talking because we don't want for them. If you say additional deposit, I online IST by the ministry. Now the ministry. The police for the way it was done at the Ministry of Education.
I'm sorry, the time don't look. Talk another caller. You will call back if you want caller for finish your thought. Caller, good evening. Because one kind to this education, whether they talk on the education, one kind to this college business here, how will it affect we, how will it affect with people, how they affect with credibility of the education. But let's go to the next caller. Caller, good evening. Name and who's you call me from, please.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening, my sister. Go ahead.
Hello.
What you get today? Yes, go
Okay.
ahead. I know that they talk about Madam Bendu, please.
This,
Yeah.
yeah, this is my actually call from Dallas, Texas.
Yes, Auntie Maria, to go ahead, my
Hello, you
sister.
hear me? Yes, how are you,
Yeah.
ma? Thank you so much. I
Fine,
really
thank
appreciate
you.
my program when I come on today. Me, na one person way I really surprised on Fisher in judgments and I talk the way talking a court because when I get one on a person I have to kutubu way I be almost not fall victim because it mistake me for another Maya to Camara where they London where they cost some and me cost. But I try to tell and say me na be Maya to Bangwana married me Maya to Camara so it been get myself mixed up. Okay, but that's not the issue because that is so pity. I pity Carolinians and for make somebody at that level for use Adebayo. Why una so concentrate for Adebayo? A whole government. Then secondly, I call in respect of Lara as a woman. If una say una get anything against Lara, it takes 6 months for this government for bring Lara in case of. That's a shame to the government. Then Kamaremba in case another one. Whether Kamareba was wrong or right, bring the justice. If they find and guilty, you can go court and sentence them. You understand? But for the treat people and then kind way, then it's so bad. Also, make you always say, the previous government don't do so bad. Don't take them so. You can't correct them mistakes they did. That's what we expect. Let them just to Salone people enough for the grumble. But always not complain about the past government, you don't can do the worst. If some of we the woman have not been kidnapped against and waiting and you want to do the male, like now the same thing and do Lara so them for don't do Akisoya. But people will rise up and come and speak for that woman. Day. You understand? This is not a problem with this government. Not to say the problem about corruption at Salone. We don't get in that system. They don't work with it, Madam Sabina. Every sector of that country is corrupt. Not only politicians. When you take the teachers, the lawyers, the doctors, the secretaries, every single somebody corrupt in that country. And until we get a mindset, say, I'm there to work for the people of Sierra Leone. All about Sierra Leoneans forget cars, houses, and all the material things so they can go no side. Now people are concerned about that country. When me now can say, okay, I want to work because of I see how many people in the suffer, then what is well, you know, come for Cambe say. Then the first life that you do all counties. So it's like I just want to know with people apart from tackling the politicians, we as Salonians, therefore be honest with yourself. When they give you position, you say you go work for the people and make sure say you conscience and God. Because I last 1 hour salary to go ask the next one. So I will stop so far and not take time other people want to.
Thank you so much. My Esto Fidelis sister. Thank you, Mayatu.
Yes,
Thank you
yes,
very much.
Madam Vice
Thank you.
President. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay.
Esto Fidelis. Be thou faithful.
Be
Thank
thou
you.
faithful.
No, take
Yeah.
one last call.
You're
No,
welcome.
quick. Thank you, my love. let me take one last call quick. Then let me go to this. Okay, let me go for safe to this this education business here. So this degree business here. So we get a quick audio while we play because make I tell you now for sure. This is something where I know. Last Wednesday, where all this done broke out. So last Wednesday, which was the 6th of April 2022. Over 20 F1 visa students. This is something I know because I know somebody where go there personally. Every single one of these young people that went for F1 visas were turned down. And my guess is, not guess at the guess, because of this news way come up or these fake universities and these fake degrees where people and they get and this face, I believe say this is why America suspend all the F1 visas for now. I'm not saying they made it final announcement, but if you go there, the one that will go on the 6th, right after this thing broke out, the one that will go on the 6th of April this year, last week, Wednesday, they were all denied. Every single one of them. One, they don't give visa. Then just imagine the school, they don't take their all Naya and everything. All American embassy for those do stamp them passports, verify them paper and go. They don't even interview them. They don't even look them paperwork. They're not even whatever. They just go to the first counter. They just tell them, oh sorry, da 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 da. They just make a generated letter and just hand over to them. They all come out, some they cry, but some take courage because they feel say no to them one grain, they do want to. And this thing has been going on. We get a video or audio where the whistleblower of this thing here, and I don't listen and quick because I know say people they want to go cut fast. We just want to wrap up quick. But let's listen to this audio where the whistleblower talk on. I don't know if I don't get a clear up. Let me listen to what in this whistleblower talk for every education the scam. Dr. Idris Lahai, John Idris Lahai. Let me listen what in Dr. Lahai say. Now let me listen quick.
And what bothers me is the fact that the Inspector General of the Police, who ought to have known that this syndicate is in operation, is a graduate of this of this very university.
And that issue is already with the police, who have the responsibility and authority to investigate general fraud. We investigate corruption.
Commissioner, it's good that you have mentioned the police. There are allegations that head of police himself acquired this fake PhD degree. So do you think he can investigate himself?
Yes, because of course it is the head of police who has been there, and the people who are responsible for these universities have been arrested in Sierra Leone.
Like I said, now let's start off with the conversation. And Sierra Leoneans are discussing academic fraud claims that allegedly implicates top government officials. The claims were raised by one John Idris, who claims to speak for the million Sierra Leone academicians against fake degree holders.
And among those implicated in the claim is the Inspector General of Police Ambrose Ovula, who holds a honorary doctorate degree from the Africa Graduate University in Uganda. I've just spoken to John Idris Lahir and began by asking what informs his resolve.
What actually inspires me, I would say there are many reasons. The universities in Sierra Leone, they are producing students, but yet still the joblessness is very high. But when you go to these offices, they are packed with employees. When you ask some of them where did you study, they will say, oh, it was an online course. So I began to study these people, the trend as to how they got admitted into these colleges, and I came to realize that it is because of the type of education they are getting, their academic credentials, that has actually created, a major economic problem in the country.
And Dr. John, maybe to interrupt you, are you in a way saying key Sierra Leonean officials don't have the academic qualification and therefore not qualified to hold the public offices?
Some of them do have the academic qualifications, but once they occupy these government positions, they tend to go by fake PhDs, masters, that gives them undue advantage in their places of work.
But Dr. John, the claims you are raising are quite outrageous, I should say, because these universities where these officials have earned their credentials have clarified that their degrees are authentic.
But the university that clarified the issue is not an authentic university. It is the same criminal, network that continues to evolve, changing names and operating the same clandestine way.
But talk about a scam. Do you think fake degrees is a concerning issue in Sierra Leone?
It is a concerning issue. When the war ended, people decided that the best way to make it is to either fake it until you get it. This very university that gave this clarification, they've graduated over 1,000 people. How many of them are pharmacists today? How many of them are nurses today? How many of them are even employed in the office of the president? These are the key questions, and this has to stop. This has to stop.
And you sound pretty disturbed by this development, Dr. Idris. You talk about you are speaking for your people. Which constituency is this?
The Sierra Leone constituency, all 7 million people, I speak for them. Those with the fake degrees, they constitute less than 0.1% of the population. And what bothers me is the fact that the Inspector General of the Police, who ought to have known that this syndicate is in operation, is a graduate of this of this very university.
And you seem pretty determined with this cause. To what length are you willing to go?
Well, I will continue to talk about this until maybe lay my life for this cause. The world is watching. The world is listening. Soon, the international other countries will refuse to accept degrees from Sierra Leone when Sierra Leoneans apply to go and say they want to go study overseas.
Yes, and for purposes of just clarity to our listeners who are not Sierra Leoneans, how many officials are you talking about?
I'm talking about, what would I say, close to 1,000. The military.
And where are you drawing your findings from?
Because the very university that is offering these degrees, how can you get a PhD? One, there is no dissertation. Two, no one examined that dissertation. Secondly, you did not go for conferences. This is the problem.
Well, clearly a dejected John Idris, a proclaimed voice of millions of Sierra Leone academicians who are against fake degree holders, Josie.
Yes, and this has been a very heated debate topic on our Facebook page today. And in the studio, we have our colleague Fatima Hadun. Fatima, what are people saying?
Yes, I mean, we really hit a nerve with this subject. We have Abubakar Karbo, who said even the commission, including the police, all of them are corrupt in Sierra Leone. We have another comment by Juma Wasili. He said, come to this tiny southern African country, we have plentiful fake papers. I mean, another person, Rein Dorf, he took it more resourcefully and said he would buy a fake PhD. But he said, if it is cheap, why not? Wow. Nothing more than 50 euros.
Oh, okay. He even knows the price. He even knows the price.
So he can't be more than 50 euros, then he would buy. Some people, cost for some people.
It's quite hilarious.
Anyway, we'll get back to more comments on the same story. Now, the Sierra Leone's Anti-Corruption Commission boss has rubbished the claims, insisting that the claims lack legal merit and therefore cannot be investigated by them.
And this is even as John Idris, whom I have just spoken to, claims that the ethics body is just trying to cover up the officials implicated, Josie.
George, but to put everything into context, because this is Africa Link, I have spoken to the ACC, that's the Anti-Corruption Commission boss, Ben Kaifala, who started by outlining the responsibility of his led ethics body.
In summary, the role of the Anti-Corruption Commission is to investigate instances of corruption and to prosecute them, to also lead efforts at ensuring corruption prevention in Sierra Leone.
Now, you rightfully say the body was set up to investigate alleged instances of corruption and to prevent corruption practices. Now, Commissioner, why have you refused to investigate the fake PhD degrees complaint?
In the particular instance of the PhD, it is alleged that certain individuals have PhD that are not merited and that they are using the PhD in the public service. Now, two ways we can get involved. The law requires that for somebody to commit such an offense, it has to be established that he used such things to confer an advantage on himself. So, for example, if the requirement to become commissioner of the ACC is that you must be a lawyer, if I present certificates to Parliament in my vetting process that made me get the job as commissioner, but it turns out that I'm not a lawyer, then the offense is committed. The particular situation we have here, there is no requirement for any position for somebody to have a PhD, and certainly there is no evidence of fact established that any of them use the PhD to acquire positions.
Commissioner, so in other words, you say even the fact that you are aware that this government officials, some of these government officials hold a fake PhD degree, is it a crime or not?
It may be a crime, but for it to be a crime within the auspices of the Anti-Corruption Act, there has to be the element of conferring an advantage, and we are saying that is absent at this stage. But also you have to look at it from the point of view. The whole thing may be a scam even against them.
But how are you going to know if it may be a scam or not if you refuse to investigate the case?
Because we have records now that confirms that the institutions were not accredited in the countries where they say they exist. So if I am giving a degree from a university in Germany, and it turns out that that university is not accredited in Germany to confer a degree, it is not necessarily that I am being criminal myself in Sierra Leone. It is possible that the people in Germany who set up this university without going through the proper accreditation are in fact the ones who are committing the crime, and they are the ones who are actually carrying out the offenses and not the victims. And that issue is already with the police, who have the responsibility and authority to investigate general fraud. We investigate corruption.
Commissioner, it's good that you have mentioned the police. There are allegations that head of police himself acquired this fake PhD degree. So do you think he can investigate himself?
Yes, because of course it is the head of police who has been there, and the people who are responsible for these universities have been arrested in Sierra Leone.
Like I said, this is a very heated topic today. Sierra Leone Anti-Corruption Commission boss Ben Kaifala speaking there.
Fatma, take us through other comments on this stormy issue.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a very, very heated subject. There's one person a couple of people who took it on a more serious note. I think this is a really important one. This person said, Ibrahim Mansarai, he said, this matter reflects the growing concern about an upsurge in educational fraud, which threatens the value which threatens to devalue higher education and undermine academic integrity, which just goes to show the consequences that can happen when fake PhD degrees are widespread. But here's one maybe for you, George. You're from Kenya. Makinda Magendi said, Kenyan politicians are kings and queens of fake degrees. What do you think about that?
I can't agree.
Okay, my people don't know yegi with una yes, and you know what beats me pan this all? What is getting to me? The refusal of people for make a serious crime this. That is my problem here. This is a serious business where therefore affect with credibility, just as Dr. Lahai say. And I told you again, and I told you before, and I'm telling you again, the people that went, the students that went for student visa, F1 visas, were all turned out. It was over 20 of them that were there on Wednesday. When I feel say anybody they take with them, we young people them, and you know, the technicalities of law where people and they use for get away with murder, because that's what I call it. For year Ben Kelfala, I give you any kind of the bet me life don't say. If not be the other side been there on this, or somebody else be there on this way they don't like or the day after, therefore we don't go pan and Ben Kelfala for them there on the case long time. But Ben Kelfala say not to crime in there they make corruption. It is not a crime. This is corruption. It is corruption. It is a crime. It is wrong. It is anything where they do something illegal. That's what builds up to corruption, because the system is corrupt. They are doing things that are corrupt, and yes, they maybe might not have used it to getting job, but they use that advantage when they don't get inside there for other positions for open for let them get them. So because they intend to use it, that's why they acquire it. So the intent is there. They don't just go acquire them for just title, yes, but they intend to use it. And this lawyer, I'm telling you, I say, me not a lawyer, but I get common sense. Some things don't make sense to me. And this is going to affect us, because we having people that don't want to work, they don't want to earn nothing, they want to get everything for free, forget everything, and ride off the coats of other people, their livelihood. That's what is happening. It is wrong. It is wrong. First step, now Nigeria, they won't be in Canada, America, they say, and Nigeria, they both Sierra Leoneans are into this stuff. They don't want to earn nothing. They're getting fake degrees. And they think it's okay because nobody is saying anything. The morals, the values, the credibility, it's down the drain. Nobody cares. Everybody's a free-for-all country. Everybody do what they want for do. and nobody says nothing, nobody asks nothing. They only run after who they want to run after, and they left the other one selective justice here. Mr. Shilon, I pass on to you because we can't close for today. I mean, I know say when I get for go court fast, everybody get for court fast. Now fast months this, we don't reach 2 hours. So I just want to give you a chance for you to address this.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Me own suspicion for the reason why the whole thing about unaccredited degrees or degrees from unaccredited universities, and they downplay the whole process, is because it does permeate, it does spread into the higher echelon of the government. There are lots of people now, you see, too many people in high places have been awarded these degrees. So the problem now is that because of that, it has become an issue of untouchability. They're not for touch them. Because look at I still didn't get the logic of what Ben Kelfala say when they point out to her and say, the chief of police gets such degree. And they ask and say, do you think he can investigate himself? And his answer was yes, but the logic not seem clear to me. Where I think, in all sincerity, the answer would be no, because he may investigate himself, but he's not going to find himself liable. Now, then Ben Kelfala says something where I think now a reversal in role. He say in an anti-corruption commissioner for investigate corruption, but not for investigate criminal conduct, because that's you have another, the police chief and the attorney general's office. I think you not mentioned that, but that they're in charge. Well, I thought that since Mr. Kelfala say it may be a crime, but he's not sure. One thing is clear, it is clearly corruption, which seems to me falls into jurisdiction. So if Mr. Ben Kelfala not thinks in a crime, and some of the examples that we give make sense. You can go get a degree. So a university in another country can offer you a degree where the university itself might be the body where engage in crime. We'll be getting a similar thing now. That's for make the argument palatable. We'll be getting Donald Trump University now. We turn out to be liable. We turn out to be a criminal enterprise. Okay, so that happens in other country. So that it may be a crime, according to Ben Kelfala. But since he's not sure if that's a crime, one thing is clear from the operation day, because it's being participated in by government officials as high, and there are other rumors, there are other high or higher government officials than just the police chief. So they know why they don't want to touch it. But in the end, it will affect the country. It should be taken seriously. People should be warned that if you have any such degree and you use them for maintain your position or use them to be hired, upon investigation, if you are found to have in one of those degrees, you will be fired. And in fact, if they want to be strict and say all benefits paid to you should be returned or refunded to the government, if government is serious, because you cannot run a system without unqualified people. You cannot run a system where now, as a result of participation in criminal enterprise, that people are finding themselves in a position of authority to work and control others. Just very quickly, since we come to the end of it, they call us them from Abdullah from New Jersey to Abdul from Maryland. And Abdul sounds to me like the gentleman who once was a teacher or knows a lot about the curriculum, educational curriculum back home. If he is, I would strongly encourage him to call us back, because some of the points the way they raise, they make a whole lot of sense, and some of them things we need for dive into them some more. And the lady, Miss Maria Tuwe, called from Dallas, all the suggestions being made by these people are all true. And Abdullah say, he don't understand why even attention is being given to the gentleman who they call and cause Mamikos. I agree with him. He said, this man don't understand policy. not going to make any meaning contribution. So why would somebody like a judge even take time for even recognize this man in presence anywhere, let alone for base a decision on which in vulgarities? I think you get a point, So, and it's a little bit disappointing because we need somebody with people and way to run the system, therefore no better than that, not to something around it, therefore even spend any time on in responding to. But again, they say you lay your bed, so you go lay down para. This is the bed we've laid for ourselves. The country not take competence important. Every department, people will tell you in Sierra Leone today, the heads of those departments are being fought hard to be pulled down, only to be replaced by someone who has connection, for pull the competent person at the top, for put somebody with a connection. So we will always see the effect, because there is no way a system will be improved where competence is not a criterion at all. Okay, where the mismanagement, connection, then the key. So with that said, and with the limited time, I can only say I'll stop here and we'll proceed next time. Hopefully, people who we call had a very good time listening to us as usual, and we do certainly, because we always appreciate we call us them, because you can tell they are very much into the subject matter, and then they make very meaningful contribution. That said, I'll pass you back to Ms. Fadima.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Shilon. This is scary. You get a lot of hardworking students, hardworking people. We don't earn the degree. We don't earn. We don't study well. We don't do everything required. Then a bunch of people come there and try to take the stuff away from we. Every Sierra Leonean should be mad. Every Sierra we don't make excuse for them people. Yeah, we left for me because people worked hard. People earn their degrees. They go school and go to the requirements. They earn their degree. But some people want shortcuts in life. And to see a person of that high office, first of all, what I'm calling names, first of all, I call that man, I have named him before, I've labeled him the commissioner of police, the house nigger. The house nigger, waiting at the house nigger quickly before I round up. The house nigger is the person where during the slave term they outside. So the Congosa one part the slave them, then they take and they bring a car inside, then get a small warm, they get a small heat. Now they take now they send for go deal with the one they wanna do. Now they can't Congosa to the master, waiting the other one they do, they go inflict punishment, they send them for go inflict punishment by the people. That is what I call the police commissioner. And this man in name done the car up, done the car up, done the car up. And we hear the broadcast about the Quarry incident where people then give their land to a government, where this man in name they allegedly to say, hey, don't take the property, don't begin below stay. Nothing is coming out of it. We don't see the way where they make as they go kill people, they shoot people, they're not able for order for disguise the part and seize and try for control crowd, let alone they just go fire and kill, then make so. Then he talks say everybody not thief man, he go Belgium, he said they all not thief man, just this is a commissioner. And the president keep him at the position because the president appointed. The president keeps him in the position because he approve of what he say. And now in name Donka or past scandal where they say he get fake degree and all that, that is wrong. That is so not wrong. It is not with credibility. That's why good things would not come to us because we are just playing mediocrity and playing house. We're playing house. Nothing they come to read good. Because if people start hearing this, who is going to trust us? They get for trust we, they get for respect we, they get for trust we. And again, I say again, my people, and the change starts with us, the change starts with we, the citizens. If we know we right, if we know say these people are under contract, their social contract, if they're not to do the work of the people, number one work of the people is the economy. How will people survive? Because after the hierarchy of need, you need food. After the air you breathe, in Maslow's theory, after the air you breathe, after the self, you need food and shelter. If you cannot provide food and shelter, anybody when able to provide food and shelter, that the important stuff of life. I get for eat, I get for survive, I get for provide shelter for me people there. Me family, if the economy is not thriving, if the people that you put in place cannot fix the economy, they need to go. Put other people there. If we mean for say we're gonna get every 5 years new president, let us get every 5 years new president. Because the economy is the lifeline of the people. And look how people and they suffer. When you go to Freetown, you come back, if you're not humanitarian, you get depressed thinking about people's problems. Seeing the way they live, seeing the quality of life, seeing the stuff, and people just go about every day out for doing as so God say. It is not so God say. God now wants that there for we. Now people they inflict on we because we accept it, say it is right. We continue for accept it. How for do one day we they pray. No, yes, we can pray. But we have to do, actually, we therefore take them people here, we therefore go into ourselves, go back into ourselves and search ourselves, fix ourselves for us to be able to fix and demand. Because if you don't respect you, say nobody know they respect you. That's what they're doing to us. They don't care. Everyone they come, for 50, 60 years, they've had independence, they say we're able to take care of us. But every day we go to the master, every day we go to the master for the master go feed we. Every day we go to the master, we're not able to team up for ourselves, we're not able to respect one another, we're not able to look out for the welfare of us. It's such a mess with Epan, such a mess. And we continue day by day to see messes. We see a justice talking about somebody that is on social media cussing, then therefore can't apologize. Sorry then cause you mama, sorry then cause you picky on that. But good Lord, for goodness sakes, Mr. Justice, do the work of the people. Let the country move ahead. Let we go ahead. Let we conduct what's in and get for conduct. Let them do their thing. This party is a party of more than so many thousands of Sierra Leoneans. Now Sierra Leonean the party work for the people. You getting paid for the people. Now you say you go talk, say let them pull you come on and the thing. Well, let we wait and see until Monday they come. Until you give it to all man don't say. For goodness sakes, Mr. Fisher, lawyer Fisher, Justice Fisher, do you reconsider that and try to move the case of the people? Let we move on because we stagnated. We're not moving. It's the same old crap. You know, the same old things. They pull people in place. They put people that were not competent. Some of these people, man, come on. You know, but till next week, we will come back again for talk on other issues. We say thank you to all that come. Una come again. Una continue for come. We'll get people that were not there with me forever. And, you know, let God give you all the blessings of this month. Let God in wisdom, we pray for the wisdom of God over our life. And let God give you the strength for continue for speak and continue for stand to injustice for the good of mankind. Let God not make me selfish. It is not about me. Me, I know it is not about me. And Mr. Shilon said, go testify, says it's not about, it's about the people. It's about how to help change the lives of people. That's what we're here. This is our purpose. This is our mission. My mission is Sierra Leone. I'm a nationalist. It's country first. Country first. You know, we have to put the country before, because the country good, the people then go better. The people then go enjoy. People go able. We're not going to depend on government. We're not going to depend on Papa government too much. Only the basic stuff, but everything else we can provide for us. So till next week, I love you all, and go beyond beautiful. Go beyond you. Go work on yourself. Go do kind words. Go give. Go. Just speak. Sometimes people just want to hear words. Sometimes it's just one word, or just let the listening hear. Your silence, your presence. With silence, just listen. Sometimes go pull people from the dark side. Let us build back this, you know, this humanity. This I'm your brother's keeper and your sister's keeper. Let we build them back, because now we dey look out for we save man. I love you all. God is love. God bless we all. God bless we country, and let God add wisdom into our leaders for let them able to do the right thing. Let them able to do the right thing for the good of the whole. So till next week, I love you all, and I say, Fadima, I'm out. Good night. Thank you.